The screen fades to black. Then boom, a car explodes, flames light up the night, and just like that, a character is gone. But the question still haunts every BMF fan, who was actually in that car. Some say it was a setup, others think the wrong person died. Today, we're breaking down exactly how it all led to this explosive moment, and trust me, the signs were there all along. Before we talk about the explosion itself, we have to rewind and look at what really led to it. The tension in BMF Season 4 has been building like a pressure cooker, and Episode 9 finally let it all blow. But this moment didn't come out of nowhere, it was the result of moves, betrayals, and quiet warnings that were easy to miss if you weren't paying close attention. Asterisk. Let's start with Meech. His position in the game has been slipping. He's trying to keep the business clean, stay ahead of the law, and protect his family, but every decision is putting him closer to danger. The streets are no longer what they used to be, more enemies, less loyalty, and we've seen how his own team has started to doubt him, especially after the fallout from Episode 8, where Meech made a call that left one of his close allies out in the cold. That decision came back to bite big time. Asterisk. Then there's Detective Bryant. He's been lurking in the background, quiet but dangerous. He's had it out for the Flannery brothers for a long time, but lately, his moves have been smarter. Less noise, more traps. And in Episode 9, he finally plays one of his biggest cards. We see him following leads that no one thought he had. It's like he's always 2 steps ahead now, and you get the feeling he's closing in. Asterisk. But the real spark, that came from inside the crew. Asterisk. Someone has been talking. Someone inside BMF is leaking info, and it's not just rumors anymore. Episode 9 shows us whispers, suspicious glances, and side deals. One scene even shows a character walking out of a backroom meeting with a rival, looking nervous and guilty. And that's when the camera lingers just long enough for you to know it matters. Asterisk. It's the kind of foreshadowing that this show does so well. If you're not watching closely, it flies right by. But when that car explodes later in the episode, everything you've seen before starts to make sense. Asterisk. We also have to talk about the relationship drama. The writers of BMF know how to blend the street war with personal stakes. We saw Meech trying to balance his role as a leader and a father, while also dealing with pressure from MoNique and the chaos around his brother, Terry. Terry's been spiraling too, taking risks, making calls without checking in, and pushing deeper into the dark side of the game. Asterisk. All of this comes together like a storm. Trust is breaking, secrets are leaking, and pressure is rising on all sides, from the cops, from rivals, and even from inside the crew. You can feel something coming, even before the fire. Asterisk. The last 10 minutes before the explosion are filled with these sharp little moments. Someone loading a gun. A glance in the mirror. A short goodbye that feels a little too final. It's smart writing, setting the trap, without telling us who it's really for. Asterisk. So when the explosion finally hits, it doesn't feel random. It feels like the end of something that's been building all season. And whether it was revenge, betrayal, or just a bad mistake, someone was meant to die in that car? Asterisk. The question is, did the right person die? Or was this someone else's trap all along? Asterisk. The explosion scene in Episode 9 isn't just dramatic, it's a turning point. The whole season has been walking toward this moment, and when it finally happens, it's fast, loud, and brutal. But behind all that smoke and fire, there's a lot more going on than just a simple car bomb. This scene is layered, and it was designed to leave us guessing. Asterisk. It all starts with a calm before the storm. The streets are quiet. The soundtrack drops to a low hum. A car pulls up, just another car on the block. Nothing unusual. But if you've been watching BMF long enough, you know when the music fades and the silence creeps in, something bad is about to go down. Asterisk. We don't see the character's face. That's the first clue. The show uses wide shots and quick cuts. Someone gets into the car, but the camera doesn't give it away. There's no clear view, no full shot of who it is, just a door closing, an engine starting, and a beat of silence. This is where the tension really kicks in, because by now, the show has set up enough suspects that anyone could be in that car. And then boom, the explosion is quick and violent. Fire rips through the street, glass shatters, metal flies, and just like that, the car is nothing but twisted, burning wreckage. People nearby scream and run. The camera cuts to different angles. A wide view of the fireball, a slow shot of someone looking out from a window, another person ducking behind a car. It all happens in seconds, but it's packed with emotion and suspense. Asterisk, now here's where things get interesting. After the explosion, we don't see a body. That's important. The writers and directors are careful not to show you too much. You see smoke. You see flames. You see a shadow maybe slumped in the driver's seat, but no close-up, no confirmation. This is what keeps fans talking. Was that the real target? Was it a switch-up? Or was someone else driving? Asterisk, the show also plays with sound in this scene. After the explosion, everything goes quiet like a ringing in your ears. It pulls you into the shock. You're not just watching it happen, you're feeling what the characters are feeling: confusion, fear, and a growing sense that something just went horribly wrong. Asterisk, there's a slow-motion shot right after the blast, a character running toward the car. They scream something, but the audio is muffled. That detail matters. Because the person screaming might know who was supposed to be in the car. That might be their reaction to realizing it wasn't who they thought, or worse, that it was exactly who they feared. Asterisk, another powerful part of the scene is who isn't there. One of the main characters, someone who was supposed to show up, never does. That's a storytelling trick BMF has used before. Sometimes, absence speaks louder than action. And if someone was supposed to be in that car but didn't get in at the last second, that changes everything. Asterisk, later in the scene, we see the aftermath: flashing lights, police tape, and a few shocked faces. But again, nobody says a name. There's no one crying over a body, no wallet pulled from the wreckage. Nothing that gives us full confirmation. That's done on purpose. The writers want you to question what you saw. And with the next episode being the finale, they're setting the stage for a massive reveal. Asterisk, let's not forget how tight the editing is here. Every cut, every camera angle, every delay, it all adds to the mystery. It's the kind of scene that rewards you for re-watching. Maybe you'll notice a license plate. Or a pair of shoes. Or a ringtone. Tiny clues that might tell you who really died or who the real target was. Asterisk. The car explosion isn't just a dramatic way to kill off a character. It's a puzzle, a test, a setup for something bigger. Because someone planned this. Someone wanted that car to blow. And whoever made it out alive, they're either extremely lucky or extremely dangerous. Asterisk, now the question is, with the dust settling and the streets watching, who's really pulling the strings? Asterisk, the moment that car exploded, the entire BMF fanbase lit up with questions, theories, and wild guesses. Who was inside the car? Who wasn't? Was it random or a setup? And most importantly, did the writers just kill off a major character, or are they playing with us? Asterisk, BMF is known for its mind games. From the very beginning, the show has been smart about using misdirection. And in episode 9, they take that skill to a new level. Let's break down how the writers planted confusion, how the camera helped sell it, and why fans can't stop arguing about who really died. Asterisk, first off, let's talk about the red herrings, the distractions that made us look in the wrong direction. Earlier in the episode, we saw several characters in situations that made them look like potential targets. One guy argues with Meech, storms off, and says something like, "You'll regret this." Another character is seen handing off a phone, the kind of shady move that usually leads to a double cross. These moments make you think they're involved. But were they? Asterisk, the show also drops a few almost clues that feel like hints, but they're not. For example, someone is shown putting on a familiar jacket before getting into a car. Later, that same jacket is seen near the explosion site. That's enough to make people think that character is dead. But what if the jacket was borrowed? Or planted? These are the kind of sneaky moves that BMF writers use all the time. Asterisk. Now let's talk about the characters who suddenly go quiet. In the middle of the episode, one major player stops appearing on screen. No one mentions them. No one checks on them. They're just gone. In a normal show, that would be lazy writing. But in BMF, it usually means something's being hidden. That character might be the victim. Or maybe they're the mastermind. Asterisk, some fans believe the explosion was meant for someone else entirely. There's one popular theory going around that says the wrong person died. The theory goes like this: the real target was supposed to be Meech, but a last-minute switch, maybe a favor, maybe a betrayal, put someone else behind the wheel. It makes sense, especially with how the camera hides the face of the driver. If the writers wanted us to know who died, they would have shown it, but they didn't. Another theory says the explosion was a message, not a murder. In this version, the car was rigged, but not to kill anyone. It was to scare someone, warn them, prove a point, but something went wrong, and a real person got caught in the blast. If that's true, then whoever set the bomb is now dealing with unintended consequences, and that usually means revenge is coming. Asterisk, what's also interesting is how the show used silence as a tool. In the scenes after the explosion, nobody says a name. That's a big clue. In most shows, someone would run up and cry out, "Oh my God, it's insert name here." But in BMF, everyone's either silent or confused. That's not just a writing trick, it's a delay tactic. They want us to sit with the mystery, to build tension all the way into the finale. Asterisk, then there's the online buzz. On forums, Reddit, and social media, fans are picking apart every frame. Some noticed a certain character wearing black and gold shoes before the explosion, and then saw those shoes on the burned body. Others claim they heard a familiar ringtone seconds before the blast, and now they're sure who was in the car. But again, none of it is confirmed. It's all smoke and mirrors. The writers are loving this. Asterisk, one detail that really stirred up the theories was the reaction shot from MoNique. After the explosion, the camera cuts to her face, and she looks shocked, but also confused. Not heartbroken, not angry, just stunned, like she didn't expect it to go down that way. Some fans believe that reaction means she knows more than she's letting on. That she might have even helped set it up, but someone else got caught instead. Asterisk, the biggest clue though. A single line from earlier in the episode. A side character says, "If he gets in that car, it's over." It's a throwaway line at first. Easy to miss, but now, fans are going back to that quote and wondering who were they talking about? And did they mean for it to actually happen? Asterisk, with all these theories flying around, one thing is clear. The explosion wasn't random. It was planned, carefully, and someone wanted it to go down exactly like this, a confusing, fiery mess with just enough doubt to keep us all guessing. Asterisk, but now, with only one episode left in the season, we're about to find out the truth. Or maybe, just another layer of the lie. Asterisk, after all the confusion, smoke, and fan theories, the truth finally drops and it hits hard. Asterisk, in the final moments of episode 9, the show finally confirms who was in the car. No more guessing. No more teasing. The camera cuts to a quiet hospital room. A blanket is pulled over a body. A familiar chain is handed over to a character who looks completely shattered. And just like that, it's real. It was Dink. Dink, one of Meech's most loyal street soldiers, gone in an instant. No long goodbye. No heroic send-off, just fire, smoke, and silence. And for fans who have followed his character from the early days, it hurts, more than expected. Let's break it down. Dink wasn't always a main character, but he was consistent. He was the one who always held it down. Took orders without complaint. Handled dirty work quietly. But that's also what made him vulnerable. He moved in the background, never loud, never flashy. So when the car blew up, nobody expected it to be him. That's why the reveal is so effective and so painful. Asterisk, the writers played this perfectly. By hiding the body and delaying the reveal until the end of the episode, they gave fans time to form theories, argue online, and brace themselves. But when the truth hits, it's not just shocking, it's tragic. Dink didn't deserve to die. And the way it went down feels cold, feels personal, feels like a message to someone higher up. Asterisk, Meech's reaction says it all. He's not angry, right away. He's quiet, heavy. You can see it in his eyes. This wasn't just a soldier. This was a brother, and maybe even worse. Dink wasn't the intended target. Asterisk, some quiet dialogue between BMF and Terry makes this even clearer. They mention a last-minute change in plans, a favor, a switch. That tells us Dink may have been doing someone a solid, driving their car, running their errand when it all went wrong. If that's true, he died in someone else's place. A setup meant for someone else. And that makes it even more devastating. Asterisk, what makes Dink's death stand out is how personal it is to the crew. He wasn't famous. He wasn't feared. He was family. And now, that family is broken. You can see it in every face after the reveal. The pain, the guilt, the realization that no one is safe anymore. If someone like Dink can get taken out, what does that mean for the rest of them? Asterisk, and here's the deeper layer. His death was meant to do this. Not just to kill a person, but to shake the entire organization. Whoever planted that bomb didn't just want blood. They wanted chaos, confusion. They wanted Meech off balance, distracted, weak, and it's working. In the final seconds of the episode, we see Meech staring at the burned-out car, the same spot where Dink lost his life. There's no music, just silence. His jaw clenched, his eyes locked. And in that moment, you can feel something inside him shift. Asterisk, this wasn't just a hit. This was a declaration of war. Asterisk, so now, the crew has a body, a motive, and a long list of suspects. Asterisk, was it Lamar, back from the shadows? Asterisk, was it a rival crew trying to make a move? Asterisk, or worse, was it someone inside? Asterisk, that's what episode 10 is about to uncover. But one thing's already clear. Dink's death changed everything. Dink's death isn't just another loss in the world of BMF, it's a trigger, a shift. The kind of moment that reshapes the entire landscape of the streets. And the way episode 9 ends makes it very clear. This death will have consequences. And the final episode of the season is going to be a powder keg waiting to blow. Asterisk, let's start with Meech. Asterisk, before this, Meech was already under pressure from the law, from his rivals, from people inside his own circle who were questioning his every move. But Dink's death cuts deeper than all of that. This wasn't a random crew member. Dink was one of the few people Meech could count on. Someone who followed orders without hesitation. Someone who never got caught slipping. If a soldier like that can be taken out so easily, then Meech knows the walls are closing in fast. Asterisk, the most dangerous part of all this. Meech's mindset is changing. Throughout season 4, we've seen him try to become more careful, more strategic, thinking like a boss, not just a hustler. But in that final scene, as he looks at the burnt car and clenches his jaw, it feels like something is breaking. He's not thinking like a leader. He's thinking like a man who just lost family. And when a man like that snaps, there's no telling what he'll do next. Then there's Terry. Terry's arc, this season, has been about pulling away, trying to create his own lane. Make decisions without Meech, and sometimes taking dangerous shortcuts. But Dink's death hits him differently. Because even though he's tried to play it cool, you can see the guilt in his eyes. There's a subtle moment when BMF mentions that Dink was driving his route, and Terry doesn't even respond. He just looks down. That silence speaks volumes. He knows it could have been him. Maybe it should have been him. That weight is going to change the way he moves next episode, and possibly beyond. We also need to talk about MoNique. Her role this season has been complicated. She's torn between loyalty to Meech and protecting her own future. But her reaction to the explosion was strange, not broken, not even angry, but distant. Now that we know Dink was the one who died, her reaction makes more sense. She wasn't close to him. But what matters is how she reacts to Meech's pain. Whether she comforts him or distances herself will tell us everything about where her loyalty stands now. And if she's been holding any secrets, this is where they'll start to come out. Asterisk, and what about the crew? Asterisk, BMF has always been about unity, brotherhood, but Dink's death puts cracks in that image. Nobody feels safe anymore. The whispers start. Accusations fly. Someone must have talked. Someone must have slipped. That kind of paranoia is poison. In a crew like this, if Meech can't find and punish the person responsible, then control starts to crumble. And if control crumbles, so does everything else. But maybe the biggest shift comes from the outside, the streets. Word travels fast. Everyone now knows that BMF just lost one of their own, in a bomb. That's not a street-style hit, that's cartel level, organized, planned. Someone is sending a very public message. We're not scared of you. We can reach you anywhere. Asterisk, that kind of move brings heat. Not just from rivals, but from law enforcement too. When bombs start going off, the police step in harder. Raids increase. Surveillance gets tighter. And Bryant, he's watching all of this unfold with interest. If he didn't plant the bomb, he's still going to use the chaos to his advantage. He always does. Asterisk, this is the perfect setup for the finale. Asterisk, we now have a leader who's on the edge of losing control. A crew filled with fear, doubt, and secrets. A rival or traitor bold enough to kill with fire. And a city that's about to explode. Asterisk, Dink's death isn't just the end of a character, it's the beginning of a war. One that's been slowly building all season. And with only one episode left in season 4, the question is no longer who died, but who's next.